fucking wait to travel again. I love holidays. I love them. I love holidaying around Australia and pretending like I'm a boomer with 5 kids. I love it. I love going to places. I like, travelling around places. This is what I like to do. My partner and I, we like to go to a place and then I do the research of what's the thing to do in this town. We went to New Zealand last year. New Zealand, I love it. We went to Waitomo Caves. Has anyone else been to Waitomo Caves? You've been to Waitomo Caves? All right, so when you went there, like when you went in the caves, how did you do it? Like, did you go in a boat or did you walk? You went in a boat?
Walk down and then the boat.
Walk down and then the boat. I chose the more adventurous option. And there were options, you go for a bit of a walk and have a look at it because there's glowworms in the Waitomo Cave. So you could go for a walk or you could go for a float in a boat or blackwater rafting. And I love adventure. So I went blackwater rafting, right? But here's the thing, sometimes I get a little bit excited. I think, imagine what something is going to be like, and then I get there and reality does not meet my expectation. So to avoid that, because usually my expectation is pretty high and reality is not the same, So I need to bring myself down, so I read reviews to get a better idea of what's going to happen, right? And I was reading the reviews for the blackwater rafting at Waitomo Caves, and one of the reviews was, this isn't very exciting. I thought this would be more adventurous, and it was really tame. And then my partner read it, and she went, oh, it's so annoying when people write these reviews and they've got no idea what they're talking about. And I went, what do you mean? And she went, it's blackwater rafting. And I went, yeah. And she went, no. Do you know what blackwater rafting is? And I went, yeah. And she went, think about it. Whitewater rafting is called whitewater rafting because the water's all churned up and that makes it white, yeah? But blackwater rafting, the water is still. And I went, so it's floating. She went, yes. And I went, but in the dark, woo, adventure, let's go, right? So we did blackwater rafting, it was so good, and then you get there and then they give you a wetsuit and then they give you a tube, and then they handed me a tube, like one of the guys was like, take the big tube, mate. Take the big tube. It's more comfy with the big tube. And I went, all right, I'll take the big tube. It's not comfy. It's not comfy at all. Big tube means big hole, right? So it just meant that, when I go round, I want to be like that. I just want to be, look at those glowworms. Oh, this is lovely. But I'm in a big tube, so I'm like that. Or I have to get up and I'm like that, just on the top. I just want to be there, but I sink down. Or I have to get on top, and it's not comfy, all right? It's not comfy at all, right? And at one point, I noticed that one of the guides was like, they weren't in their tubes. They were just holding onto their tubes and they're walking through and going, oh yeah, this has been here for a long time, and this is glowworms and blah. And so I'm sick of this shit. So I went, fuck, bugger it, I'm going to get out. I'm just going to get out and walk with my tube. So I'm sick of this, right? And I get out and then turns out we were in a very deep part of the cave. There was nothing to stand on. It was just the water, it was very deep. Real deep. And I don't know if you've tried to get back into a tube. A big tube in deep water. It's very difficult, right? So I'm like, and the tube just flips up and just flips over all the time. I'm like, it's fine. I can tread water. It's fine. Just holding onto the tube, and I'm at the back of the group, and this is when they stop and they start, talking about something, And I'm like, just up the back going... Very interesting. And then someone else in the group turns around and goes, oh no, someone's fallen out of their tube. Someone's fallen out of their tube. And then the guys are like, oh, guys, don't be embarrassed to tell us if you've fallen out of your tube. Don't be embarrassed, it happens. Don't worry about it. I'm like, I'm not embarrassed to tell you that I've fallen out of my tube. I'm embarrassed to tell you that I did it deliberately.